1. What is absolute science, and how was it discovered in our history? Absolute science is simply the science of the absolute, i.e., being's or the universe's knowledge of itself. This means that there is only one reality. That reality is absolutely one. Hence, the universe and history is simply the one reality, the absolute, becoming conscious of itself in and through us. Absolute science has 4 parts. The introduction, or phenomenology of spirit, which takes one out of Plato's cave of appearance and illusion into absolute knowledge, the absolute standpoint of science and the concept. The science of logic, of the principle of all things, and the 2 real sciences, the science of nature and the science of spirit, logic's principle, or arche, actualized. In sum, we first have the concept as pure thought in logic, and then, because of polarity or the unity of opposites, or because you cannot have one thought, the inner without the other, thought's opposite, we necessarily and immediately have nature, the outer externality, extension, or the concept outside of itself, as space, time, and matter. Then finally, the unity of the opposites, thought and nature, spirit, or ourselves, the concept returned into itself and fully actualized, what our religions call God and kingdom come. Philosophy, the genesis of absolute science, began in the ancient period with the Greeks, with a search for the arche, the eternal principle of everything. That is, in 600 BC, with Thales teaching that everything is water, water being Thales' arche, i.e., only one thing exists, having no beginning and no end. With Plato, the Republic, and the divided line, where the cave is meaningless illusion, we have, as Plato's arche, the good, which is the ground and cause of everything. While with Aristotle, the arche is the unmoved mover, i.e., God, as eternal, self-thinking thought. However, the Greeks reached only an objective arche, one outside themselves, not a subjective arche, one inside themselves. During the medieval period of theology, God was the arche, one and infinite, however existing outside us and objective. Hence, duality and separation prevailed, and no unity. We then advanced from Augustine and Aquinas to the Renaissance and Reformation to the modern period of subjectivity, where philosophy comes to an end with absolute science, which began with Descartes' 1641 Meditations and his famous turn to the subject and consciousness away from the object, and his declaration, "I think, therefore I am," meaning that consciousness and being are one and inseparable. cf. Quote, before Abraham was, I am. But Descartes reached only a finite I, or consciousness, because he posited entities outside the cogito, whereas the German idealists reached an infinite or absolute I, that is, a self or cogito as all reality. In brief, absolute science began with Kant's 1781 critique of pure reason and his discovery of space and time as grounded in ourselves and the transcendental unity of apperception, that is, self-grounded self-consciousness, which Fichte renamed the absolute I, the true arche of absolute science, which is, quote, all that ever was, is, and will be, end quote. Fichte also added a transcendental idealism or science of spirit. Schelling's contribution to scientific philosophy was the philosophy or science of nature, while Hegel's singular achievement was an introduction to science and a science of logic. The absolute I becoming the absolute concept, the one true arche. The concept being the fulfillment and realization of Aristotle's, quote, God as noesis, noesios, or the thought of thought.